Welcome to Break Your Shell podcast.
I'd like to raise up one of our Break Your Shell members. She is a co-founder of Break Your Shell, the foundation. She is a facilitator, and she is well known for movements that lead women to knowing more about themselves. We have seen her do a lot of women-centered discussions and mentorship spaces. She is a public health specialist, and very soon we will be calling her doctor. In fact, the Bible says that we must call what is not as though it is, right? So today we are calling up a doctor. We are going to call her up and raise her up. I want you guys to rise. Please rise, ladies. We are calling Miss Alice. I'm correcting myself. Dr. Alice Tembe. Let us welcome her. Our next panelist is a legend in her own right. You may be seated, yes. We are calling up a legend in her own right. I call her a legend because of my own personal trying or challenge of trying to do farming. Okay, I've been a city girl all my life. I know absolutely nothing about farming. I used to see my aunt slaving away outside the window, and I would say, what kind of suffering is this? I never understood that a girl's startup in life should be the ground that is beneath her. The very hands that we have are the very hands that will lead you to your breakthrough. At the moment where I was jobless with no hope, I knew that I need to look around on what do I have? And I looked around the house. I said, I don't even have money. I don't have fancy clothes. What do I have? The very land that I was standing on was the very land that I had to use to now break forth what I needed so that I can start my life afresh. So I went out into the garden, I grabbed a hoe and started beating at the ground, and I realized that, whoa, the farming is not happening. Maybe AI will help me. I got onto my phone and I was like, ChatGPT, how do you start farming? When in fact I should have just called a number and called a legend, a woman who has been victorious in the area of farming. Agriculture is leading nations today, ladies and gentlemen, and this woman has mastered it. We have her here today. Her name is Mrs. Phetsile Sithole. Please rise up and welcome her. Ladies, this is the panel that will be leading us in this session. There's another woman that's going to be joining us. I'm going to let our doctor be the one to introduce her so that we can start getting involved. Now we're getting our hands dirty. Woman of God.
Thank you. Thank you. I received the blessing. It's in the making. And before I even say anything, I'm going to say that a panel ideally should have a bit more people, right? And I'm going to ambush somebody. And because she showed up and gave me false hope, I'm going to punish her by making her come up and sit. And I'm sure she already knows who I'm talking about. And she must probably start walking already. This is a colleague in my field of work, and I respect her, and she's been one of my inspirations. Mental health issues are a huge issue. I mean, since COVID time, I'm sure most of us realized how much mental health issues were a burden on us more than physical illness, isn't it? And she's one of the trailblazing women in that space. And I'm honored to be sitting with her today. I'm going to be hosting the panel, and I'm going to be asking
us.
this wonderful
So I
women
think now it's time
some
for us to
questions
share.
and engaging with them
Thank you.
on the topic that we have today.
Afternoon, all. Apologies, I'm not too well, so you'll pardon my voice. Also, my sister is on the way. She had so many assignments today, but she just indicated that she's on her way. So for me, maybe let me, because she can walk in anytime, let me, with your permission, Doctor, we are inspired, um, to kind of like share my journey of being a daughter and being a mother, so that I summarize my testimony, if I may put it that way, so that as soon as she comes in, she takes her seat. For me, I was daddy's girl, to an extent that I really didn't have a relationship with my mother, in the sense that even if they come back from work, we go to daddy's side and not to mommy's side. I would ask for pads from my father. Belithumbu a boil. Bengiputshutwa ngibaba wami mina. Whether alisetibuno noma likuphi. So that's the kind of relationship I had with my father. My mother, what I realized now is that she never shifted her position, regardless of how we related to her. She stood and became the mother consistently. I believe she would have been jealous. I'm sure nabakhuluma nababe boy too, there would be those signs of being jealous, but she didn't shift her position. So years went by, and then real life happened. We grew, and when real life happens, you can't relate to your father. You relate to this mother that you were not even close to. And the reason I'm mentioning that is because I want daughters to understand that there will come a time where this woman, who's a disciplinarian, who you are not close to, who you believe hates you, who you believe cannot understand, cannot relate, will become your best friend. Years went by, life happened, and my mother became my best friend. Even daddy had his special space, but the things that a mother can relate to, that a father doesn't relate to the older daughter phase. So mothers are important in that respect. And also the daddy-daughter relationship, to those that do have that, is very important. I once said I wish one day I would have a talk just to men on the importance of being a present father, the confidence it gives to boys. So I mean, that would be my testimony. Good, see, as I grew up, meeting men that would hurt you, meeting failed relationships, the me was never tampered with, because I knew a father's love. So it's not all bad when your daughter is close to the father. There's something that's being planted there. Your time is coming where you will now be the important party to it. I'm blessed with daughters. I do have daughters in the house. If there was one thing I wish to impart Gibo, is to know yourself, to love yourself before you expect love from the next person. Here's the real expect, guys. Yeah, so, and then the values that now as a mother you want to impart to your daughters. It is that same mother that you excluded, you sidelined, you didn't have that kind of relationship with. Kuyabuya, you then want to become your mother at that stage. So in a nutshell, I'd say, my journey of being a daughter and transitioning to a mother, I understand it better because I had a relationship with my father. So it does happen, my little daughter is closer to me because I spend more time with them than daddy. But when daddy comes back, they will not even ask for the things that they ask from me on a daily basis. All of a sudden, who becomes relevant. And I understand it better because I understand the cycle of that. Because we have the same parents, so even if I would continue, she'll probably cover even more. No, but in a nutshell, that is it. Okay, maybe one more lesson that I teach my daughters is that I was having a conversation with one of my daughters in the house. I said, because females are naturally emotional, but what has helped me is to create a circumference. This is a circumference, is to have relationships in circles, in layers of circles, not of lines, because lines end. But circles mean everyone is within your relationship. And issues of the core must not be taken to the outer. That's what hurts us in the long run, because then you learn to take things that don't belong to the inner circle and relate to them in the outer circle. Kunetinto like that kuwe responde relevant to that circle, for instance. And once I go to the wrong circle, so please.
Thank you very, very much. And before I pass on to Phetsile, I just want to go out to the audience, because her story, as I was listening, I saw a lot of heads nodding. I saw some people like looking very surprised and shocked on some parts of the story. And I'd like to make sure that we understand that this panel here is just provoking the topic. We're just here to provoke the topic. This is a discussion for all of us. And I like what she said, that we are a generation where these things were not talked about, and it's causing problems for us. It's high time as a sisterhood, and I like the word sisterhood because it doesn't matter what age you are. You're part of the sisterhood now. If you didn't know, now you know. You are part of the sisterhood. In the spirit of the sisterhood, we need to prepare each other for every level that comes, so that the ones coming behind us don't fall into the same pitfalls or don't get surprised when things start changing. So I'd like to throw the ball to the audience. You just heard her story. Is there anyone who would like to share anything to that effect? Whether you have a story that's similar, or an experience that you had, or you related to some of the things, or some of the things she said surprised you. I'm speaking mostly in English because this is what is about my potholes. If you want to say something in Siswati, please go ahead and do so. And I would like to just indicate strongly that this session is being recorded for our famous podcast. And therefore, you will be on the podcast. If you feel there's a part of your story that you're going to share that you don't want to be on the public platform, please notify us so that we can just edit that part and leave the rest there, okay? So if you're going to share something, if you feel that this is, no, I want to share it here, but not on the public platform, just indicate so that we can, even after the session, to say, I did answer a question and shared my experience. I don't want it to be on the public platform. We can have it edited. Our brothers who are in the room are very experienced in doing that. But before I give to Phetsile to give her side of the story and we go to the next part of it, I like the issues that she has raised and the experience of being a daughter and now being a mother to daughters as well. Is there anyone who wants to say something or comment or share an experience, even if it's brief? I would actually stand up. If you allow me, take guys with the mic. Thank you. They said I can stand up with the mic. Anyone? If you smile at me, I'm going to give you the mic. Oh, yes. Thank you so much.
Sanibonani. Ngiyaxolisa ngicela ukukhuluma ngeSiswati. So okay, siyabonga Nkosi yami kuba part of this session. I-effective kakhulu, itasisita kakhulu, mina nje itongisita kakhulu. So kuloko lobe kukhuluma ngisisi la ngudokotela lapha Lokhu lebekakusho ngilolo kwenteka lendlini kimi. So nami vele ngiba jealous kakhulu ngimangale ukuthi engabe why lo mfana abe attached kakhulu kubaba wakhe. And ngize ngive buhlungu like ufike ngathi ngakhala sometimes. Ngitibude nje ukuthi why ngabe kwentiwa yini? And ithi lena nje vele sometimes nje siyalwa nje mbamba. And aze babo wakhe abe like vele akafuni nje abe like akafuni nje vele nje nangabe kumele washe teacher uxolela kuthi tiyeto washwa nguye. Yes, so vele bese sengiba jealous ke ngithi hey ngabe kwenteka lana.
Ngiyabonga kakhulu. Thank you so much. When you're speaking as a mom, and I felt a chill. Now kuluma would say, oh my God, this is why we're here today. Thank you so much for sharing your story. We will continue engaging on this. Khona yini lo munye lo fisa kusho any experience, even if it's not your personal experience, but you want to comment on what we just had. Thank you. Nangabe bathula ngitosebenzisa ABC, mangabe ligama lakho cala nga A utokhuluma kucala.
Sanbonani. I just want to talk about something she mentioned. I can relate to it because before my dad passed away, I had a very close relationship nababe to the extent that I'd be very open. And some things I was able to talk with my dad. For me, who experience a periods, the first person I told was my dad. And you know, my mom got to know Gogoti, I'm on my periods, I think 2 years after I experienced that. And I never had that conversation, since now you're on your periods, this is what you have to expect and all that. Then coming to what Mami there is saying, concerning Goasha teacher, you'd find good the father would do that. Exactly the same thing which my dad would do. You'd find Gogoti, I'm supposed to wash dishes, and he would stop me. He washes the dishes, he cleans, he cooks. And at the same time, you would find him washing our clothes, including my mom's clothes. And I never understood because at times you say, Simbo, why are you doing this? Because and you find Gogoti, kuna that thing in him, let's say, I'm a gentleman or what? Not knowing Goti, kahle uyasona. Because me and my when my dad passed away, when she told me Goti angwashe teacher, I never understood. What are you really saying? Because me teacher so you should be the one doing it. Up until I had to learn I really need to wash dishes. Nakona, I'm learning from my younger brother. Because my younger brother, he's exactly like my father. He doesn't mind I'd say the whole month, please don't cook. I'll be cooking, washing dishes, as I went daily breakfast in bed.
Wow. Thank you so much for sharing that. She is one of our panelists. She's going to come up. She's going to come up, and I want to stress on the point so we don't lose it. I'm liking what she said, which is also what Phetsile shared. There is value in the relationship between the father and the daughter. There's something that is being added and built in the daughter when that relationship is happening. We're not saying that there's anything wrong with that. It's great. It helps you to understand your relationships in future with men and boys. And now, you know, when you're with a man and they can't wash dishes, like, what is wrong with you? My dad cooked, you know. That doesn't make sense to you, you know, and the person is not being a gentleman. But we don't want that to be a reason why the mother and daughter can't also relate. That's what we're here for. So thank you so much for sharing that. Mage.
doctor will explain what are these hormonal attachment between Mamvumbatana and the father, because that is where they end up raping them.
And I would like to very much go into that. It's something that is hanging behind, but we have our guest who has arrived. The first talk that we're supposed to have is covering the whole hormone issues, and she's going to cover that. But I'm hearing the concern, then how do we then manage this now challenge we're dealing with? Kutsi boba bese sebabamba bamba babo. And it looks like we were just standing by. We were not. We also probably didn't know what to do, right? I have a daughter here who wants to say something.
Regarding the father and daughter situation, in my case, I thought Guti Mage favored my brother over me. Because every time Mang figure maybe in the kitchen they're cooking, begumnanzi fede, mangena, and then it just becomes quiet. So then when I thought Guti maybe Mage didn't like me and she favored my brother. So then when me and Babe became close, and I thought, okay, this is basically how the house is supposed to look like. My brothers with my mom, me and my dad, things are just like that. So then I felt neglected. Good, okay, Mage just loves my brother. And that's how Vele, I explain my relationship to other people. Good, Mage favors me and she doesn't favor me. So I just accepted, good, okay, this is how life is for me.
Oh my God. The gap. Thank you so much for sharing that. So there was a gap that she felt, and she felt, well, I need to go find love somewhere else. And Dad was there. And so it happened. And I'm excited that Mom is here today. And I'm almost 100% sure that this conversation could not have happened at home on our own. But why Break Your Shell is bringing this platform? It's because of what she said, and what our farmer there said, our livestock farmer said, that the challenges we're dealing with today is the silence among the sisterhood. Hinlenda singatikhulumi letindzaba buka nyalo bamfana bayabanjwa in what is rape? The children are being raped. This is what the word ran away. But you understand what I'm saying. We're struggling with challenges now because sithule kakhulu ngale tinto lesifuna sithi pass on to our daughters, and we're not. Lokho umtshela nje ukuthi nyalo seqala perimenopause. She has no idea what's going on, but I also am understanding Mommy has no idea what's going on. And I want daughters to also understand this. Mommy's hormonal changes are almost similar to yours. Hers are a bit more advanced. Kuba bese nekushisa. The hormonal changes come physical. So Naya, there's things going on that Naya got understanding, even what she's doing. Oh, it explains why. But and we both had no idea things are getting messed up. Thank you so much for sharing that. I thought you had a hand up. No? Really? Then you have to find me someone. Thank you so much. We will come back to the audience. We'll continue. But I'm liking that the engagement that's happening. And what I'm most excited about is the fact that the tinfo lestikhuluma nyalo kube besihlete ekhaya impilo beyitocubeka in silence about it. And tinfo tiyonakale while we're watching. Sati sometimes we don't even know what that is happening. So I'm happy to this platform is here for us to begin. MC, this is not just a once-off thing. We would like to start having this as a regular thing and spread it out with the sisterhood. If we don't look out for each other, no one will. No one is coming. We're the ones we've been waiting for to talk to us. In the words of Barack Obama. Thank you so much. See what you started. We're continuing though. So please stay. I would like to just turn and shift to my right and hear a story, please do not respond to that one, the one that you know the one I'm talking about. We shall respond to it. But can you just share from your perspective your own experiences and how you've seen these relationships affect mother-daughter relationship?
Okay. Can I use Siswati? Okay. Ekukhuleni kwami mina ngikhulele ekhabo make. Akhuliswa, it was a family setup. But kule family setup malume the male abengithandza kakhulu ngawo kuba ngikhuliswe nguye ngihleli naye from standard 1 until ngacedza skolo. So you see all those years. So mina ngathi kukhuliswa male, not a female. So I think that's why I'm a farmer, because he really loved farming a lot. So ekukhuleni kwami ngiyakwati kutsandva most of the time is the male. My mom abehlala khashana thina makwethu beka sebenza emakhishini belungu. Umbona nje ngaleso sikhathi nakabe umvakashele, but sikhathi sami lesiningi bengihlala namalume, so ngiyalati lithando le male. So I know the tough hand, the tough love actually. It's the tough love, yes. So ngiyakwati konke lokho, ngiyakwati futhi siphindze sibuye sihlangane family setup kamalume and nemkamalume kube family, but vele ngirelate kakhulu kumalume. Nakunemicimbi isikhathi lesiningi abeyekela labakhe bantwana thume mine. So thine naye besine connection le sekugcineni. So now I have 2 children. I have a boy and a girl. I love these 2 people. It gave me about 4 years in between. So I have a boy, a son. So uyakhula, then 4 years later a girl comes in. So labantu ngibakhulisa ngestage lesehlukene. Labantu laba balingana bayuze futhi balingana. And lolo mnyena kakhula lolo munye usatatabuka lapha phasi. So uma ngikhulisa umfana ngimkhulisa ukuthi ngifuna ukuthi ukwati kucleana, ngifuna ukuthi ukwati kwenda anything khona na ukhula usuka kimi singakhanzisa ohlele ne-girlfriend because awukwati kupheka, awukwati cleaner, awukwati kuwash. So we have this bond now. Uyakhula lo muntu esiphuma ngaye. Then this is the girl. So ngiyam understand umfana ukuthi uyakhula nangu. So thine naye sesiyasharisha like boyfriend and girlfriend. You see. So there's a girl now in the house naye lokhulago. So uma akhula ubona make and brother like, okay, mina ngathi ngide space la. Because even dad abethi kumfana wena uthanda kuhlala khona kwakho. Because sinale bond. Amthethise awufuni ukusebenza in because thina naye bese understand ngithi mfana wami ngicela salo wendela mine uyelela kuthuma khona babe uyabona. Laba labantu abasavani. Kune gap babe uhlala busy makuhlala akhona. So siyavana kakhulu nemfana. So babe nakafika aba aggressive to the boy, like kufanele ukuthi ngabe yakwenda aka understand because ngoba vele babe akangadi angihlani naye. Mind you, every day kusukela ecrash labantu laba bamixwa ngimi esikolweni balandva ngimi esikolweni. You see this bond. So there's a girl coming in naye uyakhula. So now a girl nakakhula girl nami ngiyakhula.
Yes.
Ekukhuleni kwakhe grade 4 grade 6 uva ukuthi asikho ku-save wavelength nalo make lo manje ngoba nami ngiyakhula angikade bekuphaza ngini and angadi mina ukuthi ngiyakhula mina ngiva sifuthe ngiva ngiyacasuka ngiva ini uk-adolescence lo muntu esikhuluma ngayo nama ngi-understand ngiyacala kuba nentombazana lakhaya kude lokho wangitshela ukuthi yabona-ke le ntombazana njengoba ikhula kude ayikhulisa kanje utawubona kanje. So now thina naye siyahlephuka because we always fight. Nangikhuluma nawe uyangiphendula. Ngithatha umzaca ngiyashaya. Into le kufuna ukuthi ngingayendi. Angithi because angi-understand. Ngibona umuntu lodelelako mina. Ngibona umuntu love bathi esikolweni wobona abakhuluma kuseklak. Yeah. When my mom is like that. Yeah, you see. So understand. So Tina and I had lots of fights. I don't want to lie. Lots of fights. And she even went to therapy because of mom. And I remember she was reminding me the other day, said, "Ema kuyakhumbula na usayina le indemnity therapy uthi wena mosha imali nje yini le mfana ngiyisayina." And ngeva buhlungu nakasho kanjalo because ngakusho vele ngathi yathi simosha imali la uyadelela nje hamba uyele kule therapy yakho awufuni nje wena kwashatha awufuni lalela. But you know what happened to me? Ngase ngishaya soul searching mina because ngase ngiyabona ukuthi okay lo mfana as understand futhi ngeke size sivane munye wethu ufuna atehlisa ngase ngiyatehlisa. Ngase ngiba ku level lele sekugcineni lena lokuthi angagibela la enhloko lo mfana ende noma ngayini because ngizama ku understand yena manje la kuye because uyakhula. And now we are girls like nakabuya segela wadi phela we are friends because ngase ngiyatehlisa ngoba kude umvu bekatatehlisa kulabantu labayi2. So ngase mine ngidecide ukuthi ngitehlise kuze sikhona kuba save wavelength sikhona ku understandana ngikhona ku understanda yena. I know yena ngeke akhona ku understanda ukuthi mine nginesifuthe futhe lesikanjani but uyabona I know ukuthi uyabona because sometimes sike sibe nama discussions as like bathi bengikubona mani maku stressed nangisasemncane but I was so young I didn't know what to say to you. But now I understand. So now sesinayo heart to heart girl to girl talk all because mina ngase ngiyatehlisa because bengibona lokuthi uyaphunyuka uyahamba futhi and waphunyuka angiphinzi ngimthole. So now we are best friends.
Wow.
We can talk anything right now because when we talk we look like okay.
All right.
We are so best friends. When she comes home I'm not just like hi girl ukuphi. Then I'm like okay I'm coming sengidudana so okay awukasho kuseni ukuthi ngeke ngikukanze uyabo. So we communicate, we are friends, we share anything like anything. So
Wow.
yeah.
Very interesting story, and I would like to pick on a couple of things. The first one is that we did agree that it's a hormonal warfare that's going on. And I'm happy that the hormones, the explanation, I would like to go into it, but we have someone who's going to take us through that. The warfare is happening and sometimes we have no idea it's happening. Nalokuthi lama effects akhona, sometimes we don't even realizing how much what breaking everything down. And I would like to then pick on the fact that at some point, someone had to realize this is happening and bring themselves down to say, let me try to understand. The understanding in the sisterhood is required. It's not luxury anymore. Nalomvana is still a child. The baby is still a baby, mommy's baby. Even now, coming from home, mommy still calls me her baby. Wakes up and cooks ndengane while I'm still sleeping. Now, as a grown woman with kids. So you will forever be a baby, but I'm loving that the reconciliation happened and the rebuilding happened. And we're praying in this forum for that rebuilding to happen. And we're opening this forum to ensure that we start looking at how to rebuild. I'd like to thank our mummies who have shared their stories and ask you to help me to thank them profusely for being strong and willing to openly share their own personal stories to help us to begin this conversation. As you can see, we wouldn't have started if no one had started their story. But I'm loving the fact that they were willing and some were ambushed and still agreed. Thank you so much. Would like to continue this conversation. Like we said, we'll have other sessions to do this. But I'd like to just have a few minutes to call my daughters. A few minutes you will allow me to just call them up for a few minutes, and then I will close the session. So help me thank the mummies as they sit down, and I will call the daughters to please come. Welcome to Break Your Shell podcast.